So thank you guys for taking a punt on the title. One line in a conference program, and you're kind of in the room. That's great. So thank you. The world at IAP. So I guess firstly I wanted to acknowledge traditional owners, pay my respects to those past, present, and future as well. I've got the really good. Well, actually, it was this time last year, about 2 weeks before the last IAP2 conference. I was at home getting dinner ready with the kids, and you know those 6 o'clock phone calls that you kind of get, and they've got somebody with a strange accent on the end of the phone, and you kind of spend the first couple of minutes very concerned about what it is they're trying to sell you. Turned out it was a lady from the United Nations calling. They'd seen the conference program, and was really interested in some of the work that I was presenting, and the United Nations has an interesting challenge in terms of how it engages. How does it do engagement? So I've had the really good fortune of being over to Thailand a couple of times, working with ESCAP, which is the Asia Pacific region, and Aldi and I actually worked together for one of the forums. So the world at our feet it's actually about going. It's amazing to see how the principles and practice of IAP2 has application on a global scale. And it was even more interesting to hear some of the people from North America, from the UN, talk about this engagement stuff and how they're kind of running some processes, and how countries like Russia and Iran were saying, oh, they quite enjoyed those engagement sessions. So I figure if engagement can actually get the attention of countries like Russia and Iran, maybe it's not quite as broken as Simon was kind of asking us to think it is. So I thought I'd share this journey, but it's not going to be. It's going to be a little bit, like family travel snaps for about 2 minutes, but then we'll kind of get into the meat of it. So here's setting the scene. So United Nations they break the world into 5 different regions, 5 different areas. ESCAP is the Commission for the Asia Pacific region, of which Australia is a member. This is their head office in Thailand, in Bangkok. You kind of get up there, you see the flags, you're going to do the photo, of course, with yourself and flags, obligatory. Thought it was pretty cool. There's a UN Wi-Fi, you can have to connect onto the Wi-Fi. You can go, they've got the kind of the headphones because it's all the languages, and they've got the tables all kind of set up, and you can see at the top there where they've got the different simultaneous translations kind of going on. Most of the proceedings are in English, but it's kind of interesting. And so the room fills, and you get people from all around the world. Actually, it wasn't even just Asia Pacific, because the forum has to do with the Sustainable Development Goals. So the UN has recently created 17 new Sustainable Development Goals, which basically cover every aspect of from health and well-being to deliberative communities, infrastructure, environment, a whole range of things. And it was then about kind of getting everybody together, and we come together for some world-changing deliberation. Now, I recorded this in the main forum, but it was just on the phone, and so I don't know that the volume will be particularly good, but it only goes for about a minute or two. Are you ready for world-changing deliberation? This is a document that they're editing at the moment. This is the main forum. The yellow bits are highlighting the words that they think they need to change.
I think that the document section is here, guided by both the principle and the
So they're talking about whether it should be in principle or agreeing to the previous agreements or whether we need to restate those agreements. I've let it go for a long time just to make the point. I hope I haven't really shattered any illusions that people might have about the UN. What's people's response to that? Like that was the main plenary forums. That's the nature of the deliberation. They try and work on resolution and documentation, and a big chunk of the time it's editing documentation.
Do you think, Joel, is that because they're not wanting to, nobody's wanting to be seen to be leading the discussion, and they're being polite to all of the other nations to allow them to say something, and as a result nobody says anything?
Yeah, so they've got a real dilemma, and they're okay with me sharing this, and actually in a little while you're going to try and solve the problem for them. They've given me a scenario, and we're going to workshop it. So that's where we're kind of going to go today. So yeah, absolutely, they've got this real dilemma, and the dilemma isn't Tuesday. That you've got sovereign nations. You've got people and nations who value their own culture, their own independence, what they've done, and what they need to do. You know, and lots of cultural and national pride. Yeah, you've got fates that are absolutely intertwined. You know, and Simon's conversation about Brexit kind of highlights that, and it's no different in Asia Pacific region. Yet because of the vagaries of working together in that forum, there's really strict diplomatic protocols. So for something to be simultaneously translated into 4 languages, do you think there's much off-the-cuff conversation? Yeah, prepared speeches, prepared in advance, an order of who has to speak first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and people would kind of fight over ninth, 10th, and when civil society organisations speak and when the member countries speak and all that kind of thing. There's quite a lot of that. Yet, to change something like, to make an impact on sustainable development, basically on global health and well-being, it can't be done without shared decision making. So it's a really interesting kind of dilemma that they have to make.
So who are the participants, Joel?
So the participants are member countries from around Asia Pacific, but also broader in this context. But the UN headquarters has their own member states, and they have similar challenges around the protocol that they need to kind of follow. You've also got civil society organisations, so it's interesting that Simon kind of introduced that term. It's a bit of a foreign term to it in Australia. Basically, it's the NGO sector, the non-government sector, and a plethora of researchers and triple PhDs. It's interesting in terms of when you they put a high prize on like you kind of need a PhD to get in the door. Kind of, I don't have one, but I got in. So that's who kind of comes. So there's this real kind of dilemma, and so the question is then, well, could engagement actually make a difference to that? And interestingly, one of the New York staff members was actually successful in getting one of the first non-diplomat politician to present at the General Assembly. She was a lady from Marshall Islands talking about rising sea level and climate change. And it was the first time that non-politician diplomat wasn't a rock star or a movie star, or, it was actually just a member of the community. And her presentation, actually, it's on YouTube, actually got met with standing ovation. So that need of actually bringing just the community voice into the room. So of course, I went over and we have to do sticky dots. It's the facilitation kind of rules. The union gets very upset if we don't have them. what we used was, it's got an overlap with what Simon was talking about, Levin, Karen, Luke and Miser, talking about the 7 foundations of, basically, to use Simon's words, deliberative capacity. What were the 7? So we're asking countries to rate themselves. So this is different kind of countries sort of going, here's how well we score on those areas. And then we got a whole range of people, of which Aldi was one of our presenters, to have a broader conversation about that. And so, like all things engagement, it is about those kind of small wins, and people responded. People appreciated. You know, we walked into the room to set this up, and you know what's in the room? Big U shape with the microphones and the speakers. You know, and so the first thing we did was kind of clear out the microphones and the speakers and just have people sitting around. And that formal kind of protocol is a really heavy driver. So your support, your assistance, your guidance is requested. I'd like to invite you to plan how would you engage the Asia Pacific region in next year. So next year, they're holding the same forum that we held this year, or that they held this year. And here's your scenario. I might want to jump on one of the tables as well. It's got a bit of background, it's got a bit of context to it. So there's going to be again, so diplomats, politicians, non-government organisations. I'm just going to keep handing them out until I run out of copies. Non-government organisations, all basically aiming to try and improve the uptake and the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, of which there are 17. The formal proceedings are kind of not negotiables, but there's opportunities for breakout sessions, there's opportunities for side conversations that hopefully would lead to some kind of resolution, some kind of improvement of their practice to actually increase how people are actually implementing and working on these goals. So I want to give you like 5 minutes or so at your tables, no pressure, but to see if you, I want to put the world at your feet. To sort of go, well, how might you get around these kind of diplomatic and cultural protocols to try and have conversations about, well, what do you do well? What don't you do well in terms of engaging around these topics? What would work better, and how might you kind of encourage countries to then sign on to further action? At your tables, you've seen sticky dots. Now you've got butcher's paper. So both my requirements as a facilitator have been met. Have a conversation and make some notes. Go for it. Let's bring it back. I'm aware of where we are time-wise, and I know 5 minutes to solve something like this is an impossible task. But what are the thoughts? Like, what's the stuff that's bubbling around for people at the table?
3 days isn't long.
3 days isn't long, which is this thing. So we absolutely have to start, and this is part of what we're talking about. We actually have to start things pre-event. There's got to be some kind of lead up, some kind of pre-event kind of activation, connecting people to different kind of conversations. What else did you guys come up with?
Openness and respect for each other and real commitment to getting something done.
No. So those kind of the principles under which we coming together and trying to reminding people of those and connecting to that kind of openness.
we decided that, initially I went in with my normal Gen X hat on and went, we need an exhibition so we can do lots of face-to-face and we'll have booths with different practices and displays and demonstrations. We'll talk, we'll share stories, somebody will record it. And then Aldi said, yeah, what about the millennials? So then he's come up with the other side of the coin where we're going to have the online platform through using the UN platform, which already has a lot of followers. Have things like video logs where you present your content and people can comment as you go. We thought with the exhibition it could be in key centres concurrently, but to really make it work we have to recruit some ambassadors of different ages and different statuses of fame and so forth to try and get some push behind it, because as you said, it's really only the movie stars and famous people that get the acknowledgement in that forum.
And there really is a really interesting tension between the UN, the political processes, and the civil society, the not-for-profits, and who do they do, and to what degree those not-for-profits actually connect with and engage the community.
So there's that equity issue, and Chad brought up the, having the voice of the NGO sector and the non-formal sector an equal voice. So coming up with some processes that will allow that.
So that formal speaking time, how can some of that be allocated to hear back from where some of the other engagements have been?
It's a tricky one, isn't it, to have this big chunk of time where unless the countries have the opportunity to prepare their speech before they walk into it, so that's some deliberation. That's it, that's what we've done. Brilliant.
You're just going to walk off now? Or?
Yeah, thanks.
Please don't.
There's not, no, look, I mean, the reality is there's not an answer, and it's a really tricky one. But the nice thing is that IAP2 is there, and what you're about to hear is some of the work that Aldi's doing in Indonesia, right? In our nearest kind of partners, and and it's a really nice kind of connection to this to this broader conversation about, well, how do you actually take these principles of engagement outside of the very, very Western mindset that it operates in to countries and cultures where we absolutely need to have a much stronger relationship. So is that an okay segue, Aldi?
It's a nice segue.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay.
Just join with me in thanking Joel.
Thank you very much. I will just stand here. I'm sorry that my English is not as smart as or as fluent as Joel, because I
Better
came
than my
from.
intervention.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'd like to share. This is also triggered by invitation from United Nations ESCAP together with Joel. So the good thing is that we attend a high-level political forum at that time. So you can imagine, suddenly we become bureaucrats. And working with the United Nations from 1999 to 2004, you can imagine, managing one nation is difficult. And this is United Nations. So this is bureaucratic. That's why Joe said, with about the tables and things, and so bureaucratic. And United Nations also changed now. Try to transition from bureaucrats into the more engaging organization. So I would like to share about what happened in Indonesia. So this is about how we transitioned from 1997 at the fall of our previous Suharto, from centralized to decentralized government, and then also from non-democratic to democratic countries. A little bit theory that currently United Nations for this sustainable development goals use the terminology called inclusive. So the theoretical behind it, inclusion means that, like I think like Simon said it, some people left behind because of democratic. Why? Because they are being excluded from the normal exchanges. Why? Because in Indonesia, I think all over also, we have vulnerable groups, poor people, minority groups, indigenous people, everything. So they are being excluded of our democracy, decentralizations. And also they tend to be discriminated and also segregated. And that's why Indonesia we have, after the decentralization, we have in the post-conflict area, we have high extreme violence and conflict before tsunami. That's in Aceh, tsunami area. I think at the time, God taken care of the post-conflict by sending the tsunami disaster to Aceh. If tsunami not came, Aceh we lost like Timor-Leste also. So tsunami in some case help Indonesia, help Aceh to still integrate with Indonesia. So that's inclusion, and that inclusion means that they are heard, and the key is responsive government and empower citizens. And Indonesia currently, because we are still, for me, democracy, we still need 3 decades to make it more substantial. Like Max Hardy presentation yesterday, that's in the quantum of citizen as a voter, citizen as a partners. I think currently Indonesia still treat citizens as a voters. We have a big budget for democracy. You can imagine more than 40 provinces, more than 400 regencies, more than 1,000 villages, and they are all elected through the citizen. So big budget for this election, and we are still survive because of big budget on democracy. And the principle of inclusive governance by theory, transparent and more participation and equality. So the context, again, 1999 is the Reformasi era. At the time, Pak Harto stepped down peacefully, or a bit peace, not like Egypt and others. And then the vice president at the time, Habibie, embarked the course of political reform. So he created a regional autonomy law, and I think at the time we produced two laws that create more autonomy in Indonesia. Some phenomena that we see in this democracy in Indonesia that, sorry, I think this is because of technology, that this law, this autonomy law now shift Indonesia from exclusive to inclusive governance, because but however the effort not even easy, because again democracy in Indonesia is still on administrative level. Yeah, everybody vote. We have high level of vote, and because of this is still new poor people, vulnerable groups, I think don't care about the democracy because they're still poor. They still fight for food, not fight for the voice. So still the challenge for that, and then the consequences is like elite hegemony and concentration of power. Maybe you read and you see in the television that several corruptions still happen, because from centralized government to decentralized government, suddenly the corruption from here cascade to the hundreds of agencies. So that's create also the construction of development or social development in Indonesia, and raising marginalization for vulnerable groups, because this is again elite hegemony. Their fathers, their son, their everybody, their brothers and sisters become an elite. So that's the consequences in 2 decades of democracy in Indonesia. And that's the background. And the second background now, like Joel said, that the big wave, the global big wave called Sustainable Development Goals. So start from 2000, where 2000 to 2015 we have Millennium Development Goals. And then every 15 years, United Nations as a leading improve their goals, and now from 2015 to 2013, so this is 15 years journey. The one that Joel has done will be for 15 years journey. And I think we're proud as IAP2 now entering the UN ecosystem, also to provide a fruitful and also participate more on the inclusive development, sustainable development goals. So you can imagine MDGs, we only have 8 goals. And now self-sustainable development goals have 17 goals. I think this is really aggressive, ambitious agenda that this is ratified by our president. I think most of the president or prime minister signed this. And currently, the difference from MDGs to SDGs. First, for SDGs, it is now everybody's business. MDGs really elite, government taking care of everything, but suddenly they don't. The achievement is not good, and then narrow and incomplete, and also addressing temporary poverty. That's MDGs. Now, because of lesson learned. Also lesson learned from Indonesia democracy, development goal is not only government, this is everybody business. That's why I think it's time for us, everybody, to also participate in these global goals like Joel has done previously. So what is the origin of our democracy in Indonesia? We have independence in 1995, so 1945. So 1945 we have Sukarno as a president for more than 30 years, from 1965 I think until 1997. That's a Suharto era. So the first 2 presidents really put a good foundation, but still centralized. And then after that, we have 2 law number 22 and law number 25 about regional autonomy. What is the key consequence of the first law of autonomy? First, because again, centralizing and decentralizing means that we have to eliminate the hierarchy relationship between the provincial and district government. I think Indonesia equal with Australia, lots of structures. We have central government, we have provincial government, we have regency government, we have sub-district, we have village government. So the budget is so big for this. And second, it makes central government ministry office at the province and district level the responsible for the respective subnational government, except for defense and security, foreign policy and monetary and fiscal policy, plus judicial and religious affairs. The rest goes to the province regencies level. Third, that creates corruption. It changes the transfer received by local government from the central government. So a lot of budget goes to provincial, especially for the regency level. Okay. And then in 2009, our previous president, SBY, improve our democracy and development into development for all, which has 6 fundamental development principles. Become inclusive, become a development for all, become integrated with our because we have full of islands, and we have country with islands, so we have to integrate with the national economy and globalization, local economic development in every regions, and then promotion of human equality. Indonesia currently part of Human Rights Commission at the United Nations. We have 2 case studies. First, we have participatory development plans start from village level until central national level. Again, this is still administrative, like our political election. And then case 2, we finally we put more emphasis on a village development, currently our presidents, and then they set up a village law So our government try to really empower the village to be more developed and then create the next urban type of regency in the future. But for me, it will create also some challenges. So this is some obstacle that again we learn for 2 decades. First, the model of approaches not being properly defined. So we are still improving our engagement policy and procedures. And then we still like I said, tokenism and formality, just a tick box, people present, absence, but they don't have capacity to speak their voice. And why? Because again, we still much vulnerable groups, poverty, hunger, so not sufficiently understood about what is the concept of inclusive governance. And then like Joel says, the local culture influence, for us, we are a paternalistic country and family, so it creates also challenges for us. I think we have to find a new way of democracy in the future. So the conclusion that we have to still believe in this democracy, we have to develop adequate policy and supporting institution, adequate platform to speak and make change, and engagement capacity. Also to utilize local wisdom all over Indonesia. For me, just imagine we are now invited for the UN for Asia Pacific. Again, managing a nation is difficult. What about Asia Pacific? It's much more challenging. Thank you very much.